Today, I did the impossible. So, I managed to save a whooping 5,010 Primogems in just 11 hours. But not even only Primogems, I also got 3 Elixirs along the way, and I know what you're thinking. Miss, why in the world would you put yourself through that? Well, I had 3 very good reasons. Furina, Xilonen, and of course, myself. But how did I do it? That's exactly what I'm excited to talk to you about. I'll be breaking down everything, the rules I set for myself, the strategies I used, and the precise tips that I really want everyone to know about. Perhaps at the end of this video, you too can save that, or even more in that amount of time. So, may I have your hand in this journey? Good, let's dive in. But hey, before we start, we're hosting a 10 Welkin moon giveaway at 10K subscribers. We all know how a Welkin is like a bottle of water in the desert. Yeah, it's a lifesaver, so if you're feeling the Primo drought, you don't want to miss this. Entering is easy, just subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment so I know you're here. You know who else is here? My partner, lootbar.gg. Last time I checked, everyone likes saving money, so why not save 23% on every purchase using lootbar.gg? For example, you can get this $100 Genesis Crystal Pack for $79 instead of the usual $100. An easy $21 saved. Want to save more money? Lootbar thought of that too. As a new buyer, you get an extra 8% off, which doesn't just cover tax, it even knocks off part of the original cost. Now, if you're wondering about their legitimacy, don't sweat it. They have so many positive reviews on their site, and I've used them to purchase Welkin for my giveaway winners. They're also trusted by big names like Dukaja and Tevat Times, and well, by yours truly too. Use my link in the description or pinned comment to save an extra 23% on your next purchase. If there's one thing we players can all agree on, it's that nobody wants to sit through days of dialogue just to farm some measly Primogems. Like seriously, I hope we see the day when Hoyoverse will give us a skip dialogue button, because let's be honest, if you ever plan on doing this, then the banner is probably 24 hours away from leaving. That said, I set 3 simple rules that I must abide to throughout this process. These rules are set to make sure that it can be done in a hurry and also won't have to rely on free Primogems via mail. First of the rule being no quests. Except a few quick ones, and oh boy, little did I know this was going to backfire so hard because I somehow got dragged into a whole series of quests by mistake. But on the good side, I got about 5 luxurious chests, 7 exquisite chests, and a whole lot of Pyroculus from it. So yeah, I see it as a win. Second of the rule being that I can't claim Primogems from mail. I mean, it's simply cheating. Just imagine if I was a Hoyo creator and decided to claim 5K Primogems via mail. It'd be the most clickbait video ever, but don't worry, I'll never do that to you guys. And thirdly, I have precisely 11 hours to finish this challenge. Here's the hours timer on the banner before I started, and looking up there, you can see my fates count. At the end of the video, I'll be showing you the same page as proof that I actually went through the challenge. Now I know what you're thinking. So, what's the plan, miss? And I'm so glad you asked. The plan is simple. I need to find something that acts as a catalyst for unlocking multiple Primo sources at once. In other words, I needed a method where, as I completed one thing, I'd be indirectly unlocking other ways to get more Primos. And then it hit me. Alright, so Natlan's got 6 Shrines of Depths, but as of now, we can only unlock 4 of them. And here's where things get really interesting. Most people don't realize that you can actually exchange Pyro Sigils for Primogems. I mean, some of you do know. But let's be honest, there's about 70% of us who had forgotten that we can do so. So, yeah, thank me later for reminding you. From the Toma offering in Natlan, every 30 sigils is kinda equal to 50 Primos. And the best part? You even get elixirs at certain levels. But elixir isn't the only thing you can get. You also get the Blue Wish, some character level up material. There's honestly a lot you can get, and yeah, it's surprising why we don't count this in Primogem counts videos. Maybe because we've all forgotten. Either way, here's a bonus tip. The max level you can upgrade to as of 5.4 is level 30, but in patch 5.5 more levels will unlock, which means we can get more Primogems, and most especially, a whole lot more elixir. Anyways, noticing the treasure trove I just stumbled upon, I started thinking, what's the best way to farm both sigils and shrine keys at the same time? And that's when it hit me, the Pyro Statue of the 7. You see, every time you level up the statue, you get 3 very important things. First, some sweet, sweet Primos. Second, a whole bunch of Pyro Sigils. And third, Shrine of Depths keys. And that's just with us ignoring the extra stamina you'll get from upgrading them. Basically, it's like hitting the jackpot 3 times. A win-win no matter how you look at it. But we are not even done because while you are gathering the Pyroculi, you could also get some chest along the way, further boosting your general income. That said, it doesn't take a genius to realize that you would definitely be able to make more than 5,000 Primos from this source. If your overall Natlan exploration is below 50%, then I see this as a very wealthy source for you. But hey, it's always better to look at thing at the lowest rather than looking at the peak. That way, you can never be disappointed. Now, there is a catch. As of 5.4, the statue maxes out at level 7, so sadly we're capped at 600 Primogems from the statue, and while 4 Pyroculi are locked behind quests, and 7 tied to some relatively short quest, you can still grab 158 of them if you finish the Archon quest. But before you start panicking about the immense amount of Pyroculi you might have to get, well, don't worry, because later on, I had to reduce it due to certain reasons, also part of the tips you would need to know if you want to attempt this source for emergency primos. Either way, this became step 1 of my master plan. Alright, so here's the grand plan. Step 1. Collect Pyroculi. Simple enough, right? Well, not quite. Because while I was at it, I figured, why not grab some chests along the way? They don't give a ton of primos, but hey, every little bit eventually piled up to become a lot, as you'd later see in this video. Then came the side quests. Not the big, dialogue-heavy ones. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't touch those. But the quick warrior quests and open-world challenges, those were fair game. They'd give me a few extra chests and some primos on top, so it seemed like a solid strategy. Seemed being the keyword here. Because oh boy, I did not account for how much ground I'd have to cover. What looked amazing on paper quickly turned into a reality check, and let's just say, some things had to go. Alright, let's get into it. This is where I share a game-changing tip that saved me hours. If you're on PC, download the Genshin interactive map overlay. This thing is a lifesaver. It shows the locations of everything you need in-game, and even unpinned stuff you've already collected, so you don't have to constantly tab out to check your progress. It saved me a whole lot of headache medicine. Not a sponsor, just something I highly recommend, so I've dropped the link in the description. Alright, so I spent about 7 hours straight collecting Pyroculi before taking a much-needed break. Then came round 2, where I had to make a tough call. See, upgrading the Pyro statue to level 7 doesn't give a shrine key, and honestly, that extra grind for 32 Pyroculi just wasn't worth it for me. So I decided to cut my losses and move on. The perfect excuse for laziness. I started with 24 Pyroculi already in my inventory, which meant I needed to find 101 more. And after hours of hunting, I finally reached my goal. Alright, let's break it down together. How exactly did I manage to rack up 5,010 Primogems in just 11 hours? First up, the Pyro statue. After nearly 9 hours of grinding, I finally gathered all the Pyroculi I needed. Offering them to the statue rewarded me with 500 Primogems, a few sigils, and, most importantly, 3 shrine keys. Now you might be wondering, I upgraded the statue to level 6, and since each level up should give me 100 Primogems, why did I account 500 instead of 600? And well, the answer is simple. Upon arrival to Natlan, unlocking the statue already grants you the first level rewards, so yeah, I'd be a liar if I was to say I got 600 Primogems from the statue. But before rushing off to open those shrines, I decided to cash in my Pyro sigils. And to my surprise, I had more than enough to max out the sigil offerings at level 30. Each level hands out 50 Primogems, so in total, I walked away with a whopping 1,500 Primogems. Not only that, but I also scored an extra shrine key and 3 elixirs, which was a nice bonus. Then it was shrine time. Opening all 4 shrines netted me 320 Primogems. After that, I exchanged my Stardust for 5 wishes, which equates to 800 Primogems, then decided to tackle the Imaginarium Theater. And let's just say, ouch. First time I couldn't clear the hard act, truly the free-to-play experience. But hey, I still managed to secure 600 Primogems from it. Just in case you aren't aware, this was my free-to-play account, so I wanted to know how it would truly feel to be free-to-play. I cashed in my achievement rewards, which added another 340 Primogems to the total. Sounds like a lot? Well, here's why. Turns out that defeating every Genshin boss in co-op actually has its own individual achievements, so yeah, those extra 2 hours I had was used to search for the shrines in co-op to get more achievements. That combined with all the random ones I picked up while exploring, and it really started stacking up. Oh, and of course, chests. You'd be surprised how quickly they add up. Just from opening them here and there, I secured about an additional 750 Primogems. And lastly, some of the side quests gave me a total of 200 Primogems. So, the grand total? 5,010 Primogems. This just goes to show how much you can achieve when you put in the dedication and effort. I hope you learned something from this video. As always, stay positive, and hey, don't rush things like I did. Enjoy Genshin at your own pace. It's a game, not a chore, but to be fair, if you don't work hard, don't expect good characters to come home. Anyways, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.